Should you periodize your training or have an off season if you want to get stronger? Hello guys! So about 3 weeks ago I had my competition, the Finnish Nationals, and I won't go into too much detail in this video about that, but I'm very happy about the competition and very content with how I performed, and on to the next one. So the topic of this video will be about off-season for powerlifting. So should you have an off-season if you want to get stronger? So my answer will be, it depends, but most likely yes. Because, especially speaking from experience right now, when you're prepping for a competition, you usually beat yourself up with heavy weights and your nervous system is quite exhausted from constantly having the heavy weights, so it will be a nice mental break and also for your body to handle a little less weight and maybe improving your cardiovascular endurance, for example. And during the off-season phase, the main goal is to build a bigger base, so to speak, to build upon when you're training for strength. And that's true especially for more novice lifters who still doesn't have that much experience or muscle mass on their frame yet. And even though the advanced guys or at the elite level, it's still beneficial to have an off-season phase, and that gives you a new stimulus to switch to the heavier weights again. And if you're doing the same thing year-round, the effect of it will be much less than if you periodize your training to lighter weights and heavy reps and transitioning over to heavy weights and lower reps. Speaking from experience now, coming off from this competition, it feels like a really nice break, and also to not have any pressure about training strictly for a competition, doing very specific competition training. So during the off season, it's a really good time to try new stuff and move up or down in weight, improve your work capacity, and so on. As of now myself, I'm doing only high bar squats, for example. I ditched the low bar for a while. The low bar usually gives me problems if I go too heavy too often. It kind of gives my upper back kind of a tension, pain you could say, from the constantly heavier weights. And that goes away usually after 1 to 2 weeks of not using heavy weights. And high bar doesn't even do the same thing for me, so really nice to push those limits with the high bar instead of low bar this time around. And during this phase I'm also doing much more volume and more variation, as I've touched on earlier. Especially with the accessory work, I'm doing much more volume, and also some variations I haven't done in quite a while. For example, overhead press and incline benching and some other stuff. It really feels good to try to push those exercises again a little while. And I'm staying in a slight calorie surplus during this off-season phase, which will last about 8 weeks I'm planning, as I have another competition coming up in the fall, probably. And I'm running the Sheiko Gold still with the Prep Zero, the full body split, and that has me do a lot more volume if you compare to competition phase, and much more variation. And it still has some heavy competition lifts sprinkled into it. For example, a few days ago I worked up to 3 singles on heavy-ish weight. I think it was around 85-77%, so that's not really heavy, but they felt really good, moved really well. And also a nice reminder that even though we don't do the competition lifts or lift heavy, the strength is still there if you try to lift heavier sometimes. And for guys who use Sheiko Gold, I'm really waiting for the new version of the Veloz ID, which really helps the training with the velocity rating feedback, which is a velocity based gadget directly synced with your Sheiko Gold app. So really excited to include that in my training in the near future as well. And hopefully this video was helpful for someone out there today, and really glad if I helped somebody out. And please leave a like on this video to show the support of this channel, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, make some gains.
Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories. Lord,